Boston, let's get it. Woo! Yeah.
It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. Got my call from the R2R. Farmers going up, Brody, check the chart. In the loots, buying all these plots. Thomas G and Mike got the chat on lock. With a drip and pause. Got these dogs and pigeons, farm me, I'm ready to score. Got me a bag of the rich and hard, I think I need more. Group got me in the wave, now I'm swimming the shore. I'm up to the core. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches.
Yeah, dog. Welcome. Happy Friday, everybody out there in the Titanx space, in the crypto space. Shout out to everybody out there that's here on YouTube and on X. We're dual streaming. We're streaming on both platforms. So if you're on YouTube, post notifications, subscribe, drop a comment, get the YouTube algorithm going. Over there on X, if you're watching on X, don't forget to do the same thing, man. You got to smash the like button, retweet, and get all your hashtags. Work for your bags, people. When it comes to Twitter, the hashtags are the most powerful thing. Hashtag Titanx, hashtag Dragonx, hashtag build on Titanx, hashtag Titanx bull run, you name it. Get it going, get it popping. Welcome. Man, beautiful day. We're going to talk about, and now it is R2R, live stream number 53. We're more than halfway to episode 100. We're more than halfway there. This has been fun. But every day we get together, we talk crypto, we talk Titanx, and we put our minds to work. We strategize. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. For damn sure not a professional. This is cryptocurrency. You could get wrecked. You got to do your own research. Don't ever allow an influencer on any social media platform out there to influence you when it comes to cryptocurrency. You could lose it all. So today we're going to talk about day 369. The big day 369 payout for Dragonx, right? We're going to look at some stats. We're going to talk what I think is going to happen with the price of Dragonx, what's going to happen with the price of Titanx, what's going to happen with the price of Hydra. And right now, as it sits, the main focus around my channel and around my daily content is going to be focused on Titanx. All roads lead to Titanx. It is going to be focused on Dragonx. It's going to be very, very exclusive to my key strategy. I'll still support and talk about other build on Titanx protocols within the ecosystem to show respect, pay respect to the builders out there that are helping drive traffic and new users. I think they deserve that content being spoke about, acknowledgement. But I want to focus on where my portfolio is going to be mainly participating and my reasons why. Titanx, Dragonx, then you got Hyper and Hydra. The fifth, to be part of the Fantastic Five, the top five, like I said yesterday in stream, will include Vault, but that may not include Vault pillars. Talked about that. Why? To the comments really quick. Slow day. That means there must be maybe Jake is streaming. That is my prediction when it's usually show. Iceman, yeah, dog. Let's go. No spoon, wrecked. Let's get it. Let me give a shout out to my Bad Bunny ambassador. I got some big news coming when it comes to SwapX, which the meme token is going to represent SwapX, is Bad Bunny. It's free. Tap to earn. Download it. Links in the description on how to do so. Check out this ad. It might be for you. No risk to you. unless you want, your finger will be a little numb. But check it out. Yeah, dog, it's Thomas here from R2R. Welcome to the Bad Bunny Tap to Earn free game, where you can earn your free airdrop by simply tapping your screen. All you got to do is follow the instructions in the description of this video. Step number 1, no laptop computers, no desktops, anything like that. You're going to need a smartphone. Step number 2, if you don't have Telegram, download one and log into your Telegram account, or simply log in if you have one already. Step 3, click the link below in the description, and it's going to take you straight to Bad Bunny, where you can tap to earn your free Bad Bunny meme token airdrop. Let's go! Hey, man, shout out to Bad Bunny, the meme token. I got about 320 million XP airdrops that I've earned so far, so I'm happy with that. Shout out to the Bad Bunny team, SwapX, Lady Mania. Thank you guys for the opportunity you give me as an ambassador. Really appreciate it. So back to the main event. Back to talking about Dragonx's day 369 payout, right? It's been a while since I've seen anybody pull up this page here, Dragonx.win. So if you guys remember back in the day, right? When this first surfaced, look at the opportunity that was here. And hey, man, one of my biggest mistakes was not capitalizing on the opportunity because I was upset over the staking. You live and learn. But check out what your swap ratio would have been. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but you didn't. For me, some of you did. From weeks 1 to 12, right? A 1-to-1 swap ratio for Dragonx. 1 Titanx gets you 1 Dragonx. 2 weeks straight, 1 Titanx gets you 1 Dragonx. All the way to the worst deal you could have got is 1 Titanx got you 0.5 Dragonx. And sure enough, man, as time moved forward, as they moved on without Thomas G and anybody who doubted them, they were able to push the needle forward and come out with this ratio now. Look, it's 12.19 Titanx. So that means for every 1 Dragonx, your return would be 12.19 Titanx. That's how you got to think in this entire ecosystem, right? Let's go. Shout out to Crypto Pride. Is you don't think USD value, you don't think how much Ethereum you're going to get back. You think the ratio of Titanx. How much more Titanx am I going to get out, right? We don't have enough Titanx. We don't have enough Dragonx. And the good thing that's happened in recent events, I mean, for people like me, because I do have my wallet that I'm holding strong with tons of Dragonx. And I have this opportunity that still sits there to trade out to get more Titanx than when I originally got in, right? Which is the ultimate plan. Let me pull myself off camera though, so I can show everything a little bit bigger. Let me know if you guys can still hear me in the comments. So we look at that ratio and what it was once upon a time, and now we have what is happening in the ecosystem is more build on Titanx protocols are being built. So shiny object syndrome is a reality in this protocol. People sold Dragonx for vaults. Saw big whales do that. We saw big sell-offs for vault for ORX. So we've been talking about when people's heads are turned one direction, everyone turns right for the next shiny object. My head is steering left to get in to what everybody just left behind. So while watching that in real time and strategizing to be going to Dragonx, you've seen my tweets. I've been hinting to you, like, don't forget about Dragonx. Don't forget about Hydra. And then I told you early on that the crowd is going from Dragonx to Vault, but the money would return. I've been speaking on that. I've been clear and loud on X. Follow me on X. Links in the description if you don't, right? And the turn of events are going to be very, very, it's going to happen and unfold very quick. Now, day 369, if we go to Mike Dean's dashboard on his premium package, again, links in the description if you want to get Mike Dean's premium package to see what this is all about. Day 369 payout, they hold 42.5% of the staking percentage. And you're going to be able to see as you scroll down here what the day 369 payout is going to look like for the ecosystem. As far as Dragonx, they're going to get about $2.67 million worth of USD value in Ethereum. If you want to know the exact amount of Ethereum too, that's over. There's another link for that, right? I'll pull it up so you guys can see. It's simply on titanx.watch. So if you were to come here and click on the Dragonx tab, you'll see exactly how much Ethereum is going to be received. So the 369 payouts, 1,047.46 Ethereum, which is equivalent to that. So that's going to be broken up in several different ways. And we refer back to the white paper of Dragonx going back in time. So the way that's going to be distributed, you'll see here, once the payout happens, or is it in the white paper here? Because, oh yeah, it is. Good. So once that rewards happens, 44.5% of the Ethereum is going to be sent and locked in a contract that uses the portion of the balance to buy Titanx whenever called. 44.5% of the Ethereum is going to be sent and locked and used on portions to buy and burn Dragonx. 3% for users to call the function. 8% is going to go to the Genesis wallet. All right. So we know, coming back to the old school page, call it the old school page because no one brings it up anymore. No one goes to Dragonx.win on camera or anything like that. We're going to be coming here shortly in the next, several days out. And we're going to see that Ethereum distributed into this here for the buy and burn Dragonx and here for the buy and burn Titanx. 44.5% split between that, 1,000 plus $2.6 million value of Ethereum. These right here that buy and burn Dragonx are controlled by a human being. That human being's name is Eric, right? The founder and creator of Dragonx. So day 369 is going to be a big payout for this system. It's going to be one of those things where I think it's going to draw a lot of excitement and possibly even controversy, and maybe people will be upset. Maybe there will be sell-offs. A lot of people are predicting there's going to be a sell-off. People are predicting the price to go up. There's a whole lot going on here. But the thing is, you got to think about the delayed reaction of what this event's going to do. It's not going to be like day 369 here, big fireworks shoot off, and we burn all the Dragonx with the ETH that could have possibly ever been burned, right? It's going to be a slow process. But that slow process is going to line up perfectly with what I believe is going to help my Hydra mining strategy that I talked about recently. Okay. So follow me here. 36 people here. 36 people are going to absorb some alpha, some opinions of mine, right? So the reason day 369 is going to be significant, I will call it about a 45-day stretch. About a 45-day stretch. 30 to 45 days out, you'll see the benefit for the greater good, right? So come look at, the numbers down here. If you're on Mike Dean's platform, I'll go back to it. You can see what positions you need to get to become a whale, all that good stuff. It's all laid out. So what people are going to experience now is a lot of Ethereum here that's going to be controlled by a human being who is not a smart contract where, like, when you go on Vault, it's immutable. Every 5 minutes, without thinking, it buys. Titanx has adjustments made by a human being. Their buy and burn, if you want to reflect back to there, originally has been operated and adjusted from, Jake's point of view and what he thinks he should do. And I used to think, like, man, I want immutable code. I don't want to depend on a person. That's where I've always been. But then I'm seeing Dragonx, and then I'm looking at what Volt just did, and every 5 minutes it's buying. I was like, what if there was like it wasn't us immutable and there was a person triggering that instead and adjusting the numbers? Then they could actually make that money stretch out. So it's interesting to see what Eric does here because the price of Ethereum will be better off for this system when it's up, buying and burning Dragonx and Titanx as that price goes up. So I think Eric's going to slow play it with this call function, right? And preserve as much Ethereum as he can. So that's going to do one of two things. It's going to do two things, actually. People are going to be like, yeah, I agree. That's cool. Let's slow play it, reserve that Ethereum. And then there's going to be people that are be really pissed off because they're like, we waited 369 days. But I don't think he should burn through that ETH. I think he should use the least amount of possible, physically possible, until Titanx goes fully hyper deflationary at the end of November. And then hopefully the price of Ethereum will be a little bit up too after the elections going into into December, and then kicks it up into gear to work at its best, because now you have where people are going to get shucking out and be pissed off and have all these different opinions, and they're going to reflect their data and their thinking process back to Titanx miners and what happened. So what happened with the event of the inflation taking place with Titanx is pretty obvious to most people before it happened, but then people had to live through it and see it play out and either get upset or just, understand that that was supposed to happen. Was during the time of inflation for Titanx, its parity, its bonded token was with Ethereum. Ethereum has not been doing good all year. It's now starting to kind of, not recover, but have moments of going up. Ethereum was high and then it just continued to go down. So Titanx is the leverage play on an Ethereum, and that's where it's bonded to heavily. And the major difference that I think people are going to make the mistake here is when you look at Hydra, right? They're going to say, well, Hydra is going to have, right? We'll go to Mike Dean's dashboard here. Hydra's going to have crazy inflation December the 15th, right? Boom, it's like a huge one. And then it just kind of just goes back to normal. But people are going to know that a lot of miners are coming out here in December and all the way into the new year, and are going to think like, oh, well, this is going to suffer the same event that Titanx did. Titanx is paired to ETH. Hydra is paired with a hyper deflationary token that really starts to kick off day 369, and then everything that's building on Dragonx just adds to that fuel of fire of burning Dragonx. So you can't use the two comparisons as far as the inflation that came out for Titanx to really predict anything, unless Ethereum was hyper deflationary for whatever reason at the period in time that inflation was at its peak, when we went from short-term miners being profitable to not profitable because of the inflation rate. The two incidents in two events don't add up. So we can't predict what happened with Titanx is going to be the story for Hydra or even Hyper, because of the simple fact that the supply of Hydra right now, and if we go take a look at the stats on Hydra, right, is in a chokehold. It's got it's 49.99% is burned, 30.76% is liquid. The stats are way different and has way higher numbers during a time of when not only could Ethereum go up, but Titanx, which is paired with Dragonx, is going to go hyper deflationary, which helps Dragonx. But Dragonx has already outperformed Titanx by many X's, by much more. That's why you were blessed with that 1-to-12 ratio that you see now. It was much higher. Okay. So the effects of the day 369 payout are not only going to help Dragonx, but it's going to substantially help Hydra. The same effect will take place with the Ethereum that's being built up and purchased to buy Titanx, which buys and burns Hyper. And these two events where their hyperinflation is at its peak, it starts to kick in with both Hydra and Hyper, are going to be totally different because these assets are tied with the hyperdeflationary assets. Now, as day 369 happens and moving forward, all of November is going to be slowly being bought and burned with that Ethereum at whatever intervals and amounts and at whatever price point, but at whatever Eric sets it to. And I think it's wise to wait to kick that into gear and slow roll it until December starts, where we look, and we'll just take a look at the stats here really quick before I jump over there. Hydra's got 214 billion tokens. Like I said, we're looking at these numbers. It's a flippening of bought and burn versus what's liquid. 5.2 trillion Dragonx. Keep that number in mind, right? Because we're going to see where Titanx is. Titanx right now has like 8 times plus the amount of supply than Dragonx. So when Dragonx starts to feel the wrath of hyperdeflationary events taking place where it's being bought and burned, that price can go much more parabolic, stretching out your ratio to probably double or triple. So I don't think there's time for me right now to be messing around going into like a pillar of vault for like Viper. Now's not the time for me to use my Dragonx for anything but to sit still. And my Titanx, if I want to duplicate an opportunity that was with Dragonx where you get the 1-to-12 ratio, I still feel like I can feel that impact by making Hydra miners, which utilize Titanx, right? And catch a crazy leverage because look at what's going on here. Hydra is bonded to Dragonx. Hydra is bonded to Dragonx, which is a hyperdeflationary token. So when its peaked inflationary date of December 15th comes, and you will see the crowd sell off because they're using the comparisons of what happened with Titanx, it's going to be an event that probably takes place where there's going to be panic sellers and there's going to be panic holders. And when that takes place, I think a lot of it could take place in December. I'm just going to hold it until next year. Then I don't have to realize gains for 2024. I can realize them early 2025, by the way, if you guys are thinking about taxes and all that stuff. But when we go, and let me pull up Mike Dean's handy dandy dashboard, premium package, check out the link in the description. Timing's everything. So when you sell, you got to sell at the right time. We didn't have tools like this for Hex. You know, there was some tools. But why in the heck would I collect a Hydra miner and sell in December when inflation for Titanx drops from 160 billion to 3.56 billion in the new year, right? For Titanx. It's a big jump from the 4.14 trillion in November to December of 160 billion, but look at this drop, right? And how much of the impact will the price have because of the fact that I'm collecting Hydra miners but not selling them because Dragonx is going hyperdeflationary, where it has 8 times less the tokens than Titanx. You hop over the Titanx stats, right? They're dropping. It's 44 trillion versus like the 5 trillion Dragonx. This becomes hyperdeflationary. That helps pull up the price of Dragonx. Dragonx going hyperdeflationary helps pull up the price of Hydra. So ultimately, all roads do lead to Titanx. But Titanx is going to have practically no inflation, drop to its lowest in January. So selling any Dragonx or any Hydra that's tied to heavily bonded, Hydra's heavily bonded to Dragonx. Dragonx is heavily bonded to Titanx. Would be stupid to get rid of any of those now and hold off till 2025 to get the best results. So if you can hold off, right? If you can get rid of some of the FOMO on some of the new build on Titanx protocols and just hold off and tell yourself, wait a minute, it's just me here, like talking to myself like Thomas, it's me here, listen to you, let the crowd go. Don't follow the crowd. When they turn right, you go left, right? If anything, use your Titanx and hold it. Buy some. I have a wallet where I'm trading right now where I'm buying Titanx at these prices and making Hydra miners to come out in December and in January, full 88-day lengths, 30, 40-day lengths. But if I want to get more Titanx in return, since I missed the Dragonx opportunity, that you can use Titanx to make the Hydra miners now at a cheap price, you're probably going to get a good ratio return. When you get that Hydra, you swap it back to Dragonx, you swap the Dragonx back to Titanx, because Dragonx is going hyperdeflationary with I would say between 7.5 to 8 times less tokens as far as what's the supply, 7.5 to 8 times less supply than Titanx. So imagine having a token bonded to that Hydra. Then you go, well, what can Hydra do? Well, it's bonded to that. So the fact that it's bonded heavily to Dragonx should combat the inflation. Plus, look what you have in the buy and burn. $9.9 million worth of Titanx. It's going to buy Dragonx. Dragonx is going to buy Hydra. That's why you see this number here is in a chokehold. It's not moving much at all. At all. All right? The Titanx buy and burn was based off the price of Ethereum. And Ethereum didn't 2x. Not yet. But before Ethereum 2x's, right? Think of this. Titanx could 2 to 3x. And this value could be 18 million. Then you have an $18 million value of Titanx that's buying Dragonx, that's then buying Hyper. That didn't happen with the buy and burn for Titanx. The buy and burn value in USD lowered, actually, because Ethereum continued to go down during its highest peaks of inflation for Titanx. So these are all completely different scenarios. Completely different. Let me go to the chat. Just make sure. I agree. Yeah, that's right. It'll be for our benefit if he waits. The value of Titanx will go up with the people that are mad or without. Yo, Titans. Yeah, dog. What's up? Shrey, yo. What's good, G? We making more Hydra miners? Yeah. Especially since Titanx is down, I'm going to buy more Titanx and put it in for Hydra miners. It's all about the ratios. All about the ratio. And you do it, you make these miners when Titanx is cheap, not when it's expensive. Nope, stick to the core assets for now. Definitely. Yeah, dog. What's up, OX Block? Dude, we about to fly. Gonna happen sooner, probably, than we are thinking. I agree. Hi, amigo. So day 369 is helping everything. It's gonna buy and burn Titanx. It's gonna buy and burn Dragonx. And then it's parodies. Well, it's paired What's paired with Titanx that has a low market cap? Hyper. Anything that builds on Titanx benefits Hyper. That's why it was never really pitched by Jake like build on Hyper. Matrix is going to build on Hyper. Marco's going to build on Matrix. But Jake was never like build on Hyper because he said it himself. When you build on Titanx, you're benefiting Hyper. So all the BLTs built on Titanx is helping Hyper. $4.2 million market cap bonded to Titanx that is going to, that's inflation is dropping off the face of the earth. Take a look at the stats. Right? So you're going to be crazy selling anything here up until this point. I mean, the next best time to wait would be in March, where there's only 1.4 billion of the supply that comes out. That's crazy. And if you want to go look at Hydra and Hyper, looking at Hydra, it's inflation. It's really not that bad considering how much money we have in the buy and burns and how much more Titanx can go in, because I think it'd be silly to be like, oh, I'm not making Hydra miners right now when Titanx is down right now. It's the best time to make a Hydra miner. You caught the dip last night. I caught some. And I was like, I could trade this. And I was like, no, I'll just make some Hydra miners. And then I had some wallets I sold. I'm like, let me get in some meme tokens so I can make some money, come back to the system later. Timing's everything. I think timing's on our side. If you look at the price of Titanx, where it's like, hey, man, if you're not buying, cool. But I'm buying for the purpose of making Hydra miners on several wallets. So I want more Titanx at the end of the road. And day 369 is not going to be a big event. I think there's going to be a lot of disappointment. And there'll be probably sell-offs. If there is, good. But those that have patience and hold are going to reap the benefit. Look, don't think like, hey, in the near future, 2 weeks, a month. The stats show you that January is going to be the biggest fall off the cliff as far as inflation from where we're at now to January. It goes up a little bit in February, but then March is like the absolute lowest inflation day or month for Titanx. To hold till there, you're Gucci, right? So who's going to be able to hold till there? Well, maybe people that sacrifice their Titanx now for 88-day miners and ladder all the way into March get to reap that benefit and don't early claim. Right? Hyper, the secret weapon. Yeah. The secret weapon really is Hydra and Hyper for your Dragonx and your Titanx positions. People don't see that. You buying the vault dip? No, I don't have to. All my vault on all of the wallets I purchased were between 1 to 2 cents. So at this point, I wouldn't even be dollar cost averaging. It would just be buying more tokens. For what reason? I'm way up. Way up. We all the way up. So a good dollar cost average for me is if it dropped below a penny, then yeah, I'd buy more. But no, I don't have to. Well, that's the benefit of getting in early. You can chill. Right now, I'm sitting at I don't know how many X's. Let me look at where Vault's at. I've had some wallets I've traded Vault, but my main squeeze, come on, bro. I don't need to be doing anything but just kicking back on my top 5. When it comes to Vault, just sit back. I don't need to do a Lotus. I don't need to do a Pillar 1 through 11. I'll let the crowd go use their Dragonx for Viper. It's too soon. We waited. If you waited this long for Dragonx to be risking it right now during and before a 369, then you really are, going for it. Maybe you are more of a gambler than I am, but I'd rather just sit on the bet I already made. Sit on that bet and go, hey, We'll see what happens. Why not buy Vault now? If it goes to $1 plus, everything is burning Vault because I bought enough, bro. I bought enough between 1 to a penny, 1 cent to a penny. I don't have to buy enough. I have millions of Vault. I don't have to buy it. I don't need to. I don't need to buy. I don't need to buy Titanx either because I got miners coming out every day. But I do buy it to make Hydra miners. So if I were to buy vaults, it would be because I was going to do something with it and go into the pillars, which I'm not going to. Let everyone auction and we buy the drop on Viper and wait for 10x. Same thing happened on Vault. Bro, you see, he already knows, man. This dude out there with, waving a big hammer. You know what I'm saying? He knows the drill. He knows the drill. It's just you let people work for you. All right. Hydra getting nuked day 88, then we buy. This could be better than mining if it dips. There you go. That's why I just got through telling you. Your mindset is thinking about a time where Titanx had its high inflation and the price dropped because it was bonded to Ethereum. Hydra is bonded to Dragonx. And day 369 would have come and gone 40 days from that time. So you can wait for a dip, but you gotta understand the Hydra is not only bonded to a hyper deflationary asset called Dragonx that will have been 45 days plus of being bought and burned with Ethereum, but that also is bonded to a hyper deflationary token. There's 2 tokens that are going hyperdeflationary that literally are back in Hydra. And you would be saying Hydra's going to drop like crazy enough for you with the low market cap. You think if Hydra drops on December the 15th, that we're not going to combat that? Where is it at? We're not going to combat that with the fact that what it's bonded to is going hyperdeflationary. It's all going to be combated by the Hydra buy and burn, and it's what it's bonded to, Dragonx. It was purposely designed that way. So if it goes down, then good luck if you can catch it, because I can guarantee you there's 100 other people that are going to sit there to buy the dip. It's like the pump that you never could dump in Hex. How many people sold the Hex top? At the very, very top. A few. And very few get the very, very bottom dips. But instead of playing this trading game and all that, understand bonded liquidity. And this isn't a Titanx event. Titanx was bonded to Ethereum. And during its hyperinflationary, its biggest days, Ethereum was going down. While now Hydra is bonded to Dragonx, and it will be going up on the rise. For already 2 weeks going into December. Already, what would that be, like 60 days after day 369? People are putting together a false scenario based on Titanx miners. This is apples and oranges. Great entry on day 88 on Hydra if you plan to hold a liquid bag for when the 100% burns kicks in for Hydra. Yeah, the burns are good. I think we combat inflation with the bonded liquidity with Dragonx and with the buy and burns. So the buy and burns are obviously probably going to be adjusted by then. It could be another day 280 Titanx event very easily. Very easily. But Hydra has 7 trillion and will be around 100 million market cap. I don't know how it won't get nuked. Well, you'll see. Stick to your game plan. If that's what you think, hey, man, the best of luck to you. 99% drop, as R2R says always. Yeah, tokens drop 99%. Hyper is less risky than Hydra and less conversion to get Titanx and ETH. Cool. I could definitely see Hydra dropping to about 5 zeros, 0.1000. I thought the same too, but I think there's a lot more planned than we think, because the more that I see the vision of what Jake wanted smart contracts to hold Titanx, by design, Hyper and Hydra were meant to be at this stage to present high ROIs to attract more people to participate. So maintaining that ROI is why humans are going to be able to respond and control their buy-in burns and adjust accordingly at different price points. So all they have to do is come here, and we look at this as $9.9 million. It could be worth 18 to 25 million by December 15th, Hydra's biggest day of inflation, right? These values all could be up, and this could be triggered and maybe 5 times the amount of Dragonx, maybe 2 times, 3 times, 10 times. You never know what they could adjust to combat those days to keep ROI up. So people want to continue to respond to the ROI and put Titanx into the smart contract. So really, one couldn't really care about the event of it going up or down on December 15th for Hydra, right? When all you have to focus on, if you're looking to sell, because what does it matter what the price is today to tomorrow if you don't plan on selling today or tomorrow, but you plan on selling 3 months from now? So the data you have, and I think the best time to sell any asset that's tied to Titanx as a whole, not financial advice, looking at the data and speaking to myself, January and March, January through March, right? But the best time here. And that falls within range where I think the bull market might be over. But if the bull market's not over and it extends, right, you'll be real happy if there's a bull market still going on August 25 and there's only 240 million Titanx coming out for inflation. So you got to think a lot of plays here. Too much adoption early for Hydra, which is good, but also inflation is nuts. Day 88, this will sell off, and I think miner either will be negative or a little bit of profitable. Long-term Hydra is great. Yeah, I'm not worried about the price on that day. Why would I care about the price on that day? Up or down, I don't care. Because it's not the best time to sell any asset, speaking of Thomas G, that's tied to Titanx when we just looked at these graphs here. What does it matter? What goes on here and here? If you're holding anything bonded to Titanx, you see the math. January, February, March. Exit time at its best. At its best across the board, I believe. They could hold it stable also, so people use more Titanx for Hydra miners. We might not get that harsh drop. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could play out. You got to think, like, we just don't know. Could play out either way, but to be fair, win-win-win in both cases. Miners will hold profitability. Is Tink your top 4 hold coin in Titanx Eco? Well, right now it's used to reward people. So my top 5, I mentioned yesterday, Titanx, Dragonx, Hyper, Hydra. Hyper is a compounding effect for Titanx. That's the super play. Hydra, you can look at that as being the same. And then holding my Volt that I got for super cheap. Don't need to buy anymore. Don't need to really do anything. Don't need to put it to work. Let everybody else work for my bag. There's going to be 11 different pillars that people can race to that ultimately are going to help my Volt bag that I bought between a penny to 2 cents. So in a world where you can just sit back and just let your money grow by watching other people's participate, it's like being an owner of a McDonald's, right? All I got to do is have some ownership in this McDonald's. I don't need to go to the drive-thru. I can watch 100 people per day participate in the drive-through and make money, right? Make me money. In this case, it's people are participating in a cryptocurrency that's making ultimately my percentage grow because it's burning tokens in a hyper deflationary environment. So I think that's really cool, right? When it comes to Tink, hey, Tink can do a lot of things, but I think Tink's going to be at its best 2025. Tink will be at its best, in my opinion, 2025. So if you can buy and hold it, right? Everything should be good 2025-ish. Early months between January to March, based off the graph I just showed you. So day 369 payout. We're going to be able to see that slow road. I think Eric is smart. We've seen what he's done with Titan Farms. Slow playing, the buy and burn mechanics behind that. Let me pull up the site really quick. Let me see. He's micromanaging the buy and burn system on what, $33.5 million of liquidity. It's already burned all the ETH. Still has $74,000 in Titanx to burn. So he's micromanaging this, the fees it gets. It burned through this already. It's already burned how much Tink? 129,000 Tink. It's worth $271,000, 1.3 million Tink, and counting by the second. So I think he's a smart man to come here and go, all right, I understand the situation. We got big events coming, big things happening, big fall off in inflation with Titanx. Everything's got to align together. I think the stars are aligned together. I think everything's going to do well. Especially if we go in a bull market. By gosh. Zen Minter holds 12,530 Tink tokens dump incoming. Dave Ervike films with Titanx from day one, is now in Titanx a year, and takes all the YouTube videos and cuts the best videos they have. Nice. I think we all are not excited as we should be right now. The gravity of what's about to go down, family. Yeah, we're there. We're there. Whales accumulating Tink. Some whales are farming millions in Tink Titanx pair. Yeah, I got my farming positions, right? Because when dips happen, I can go to one wallet and trade. But then my favorite wallet that I have is my farming positions. Up or down, I'm just earning. That's it. Earning. Sell the Tink. Sell half of it. Compound. It's a beautiful thing. Tink holding up well is impressive. It really is. Really is. What's up, Jamie X? Thank you for joining. So yeah, man, I think there's going to be, let's go run let's take a look here. We got to remember a lot of things here that we forget. Got this bad boy in the back pocket, right? Can you imagine if for whatever reason we don't know when V1's going to be used. But what if like V1 is used on like the month with like the least amount of inflation, just to get the price to go crazy parabolic? And people who are rewarded are those who waited that long, which seems to be March, right? We saw that if you were watching live. And ultimately, you got to understand why Dragonx, though, is going to go parabolic in a hyper deflationary environment, because it only has 5.2 trillion supply versus Titanx burning through 44 trillion right now. Dragonx ratio is going to be crazy to Titanx. It could be like a 1 that we've already seen 1 to 20 plus. It could be like 1 to 50. It really can. But if you want to F around and use your Dragonx to go follow a Volt pillar, And while you're doing that, you got day 369, slow delay, buying and burning. And we get into December and you're messing around with that stuff, which I don't want to say nothing bad. And you gave up your position at a 1 to 23, and then we're enjoying the benefits of 1 to 50 and beyond during a hyperdeflationary period, could come back to bite you. Could come back to bite you. Let's go look at Volt really quick too. I can tell you the story of I've been telling people. That's why good old Steve, he don't reply to me, he don't nothing. He was all about coming on R2R at first. He came on live stream, said he was. But the moment I pointed out, like, the recycling and all that, like, hey, man, I know I rubbed you off the wrong way. Because they don't want people to see that stuff. It's looked at as FUD, but I mean, what I've been pointing out that the amount that's being burned, all of that. The reason why you have pillars coming is because it's the only thing that's going to give you the potential to move up to 10 cents, even $1. So if you think we're going to get to $1 without new users, you're crazy. We're not. We need new users. So it's building on itself quickly to catch up to where Titanx and Dragonx is already set up to succeed. What do I mean by that? Titanx and Dragonx already has so much of millions of dollars in the bank to buy and burn its token to reach these price points. Vault has 3.4 million, and it has an immutable smart contract that's burning through that every 5 minutes. Pillars that are coming, right? November 8th. And then you have November 16th. By then, you got to ask yourself this, and this is not me fudding. By the time that happens, and people start to see the effect of Titanx going closer and closer to hyperdeflationary and Dragonx, are you going to have high enough participation to kickstart Vault and to continue on? That's the risk. Right? That's the risk. Hydra, Dragonx, Titanx, they got a lot of money in the bank. Vault, the reason why it's building 11 pillars plus Lotus, it's trying to get to that status. Now, timing is everything. If they had did this 3 months ago, the timing would have been perfect. Now I don't have to spend expensive Titanx to participate. Now I don't have to spend expensive Dragonx to participate. Right? Maybe they'll catch the low-hanging fruit of things that's not going to perform right away, but will over time, like Tink. Maybe like the Inferno and all that stuff. But it ain't going to be on the magnitude of what they got early on with Vault. And the Titanx is burning through. In order to make this grow, they've made 11 different pillars or planned out, okay? You got to see it for its worth. I own a lot of Vault. Okay? A lot of people own a lot of Vault. And if the reason why participation doesn't come to these other pillars because of the prices of Dragonx and Titanx are going parabolic, right? And they don't want to put it into Viper because, again, you don't have enough Titanx, you don't have enough Dragonx. We went from being so fearful of using our Dragonx when Marco brought it up and everyone started really jumping on that bandwagon, which I agree, to being excited to use our Dragonx after the fact that it goes hyperdeflationary in a period where Titanx is going to go hyperdeflationary, already is, and their buy and burns are massive by millions of dollars. there couldn't be that high of participation if people really felt that way. And if that participation doesn't jump in, it doesn't pump my bags, doesn't pump the whale bags that we're holding, what happens? We sell vaults to go back into the OGs. So the timing wasn't perfect in my eyes. If Volt had been built in August or September, different story. Different story. You want me to spend Dragonx on Viper after 369 payout? You got to be out of your damn mind. This came too late. Right? Now everyone is like, oh, Thomas G was right. Like, not enough Titanx is coming in to continue to burn this. Well, we got all these other pillars. Great. Who's willing to? So the only way I can understand myself doing that is I'm not going to touch my Dragonx. Any additional capital I have to buy Dragonx to participate, yeah, maybe. So it's going to require new capital of free money that I made that's outside of Titanx to come in to participate. The only way. The only way. So if you're buying at 4 cents, 5 cents, saying it's going to $1, all these pillars are going to have crazy adoption. You know, Lotus comes out tomorrow. I think Lotus comes out tomorrow and it has good timing because Titanx is cheap. Right? But let's see how much Lotus really helps. When you see that Lotus doesn't take, if Lotus doesn't help Vault enough to be like, oh, we're going from 5 cents to 7 cents, people are going to be disappointed. I'm not lying about this. People have high expectations in the space. It's pretty sickening. But if it doesn't go parabolic, they're going to go, well, Lotus did nothing. Okay, damn it. Viper. Right? Participation gets slow on Lotus. People sold their vote to go into it, and they're pissed. Then they're caught. Well, let me chase Viper. And I just don't think people understand the game that they're playing here. You are playing with fire coming closer to the promised lands. You've waited this long. Get a reward from it. You waited this long. Get a reward from it. Right? You let's say you have a winning lotto ticket and it's about to pay off soon, but you gamble it away for another bet and you waited that long your whole life. Right? Hey, you know, that's interesting. I think Steve's mystery token is Zen burner. If that's the case, hey, that's going to help because I got a whole lot of Zen I don't mind burning. I'll tell you that. But I ain't going to touch my Dragonx. I ain't going to touch my Titanx from this point forward. I bought enough between 1 to 2 cents. If it doesn't reach my expectations, meaning from Lotus to Viper, for any reason, people are like, I'm not going to spend mine, and the participation's low, doesn't kickstart the price, I'm out. Dump it at a profit. I'm out. I'm out. Goodbye $1 dreams. See ya. I'm going back to Titanx and Dragonx. All right. I need to get Zen back. I totally soloed my Zen the night before Jack was in the spaces. I don't know what's going on with Zen. Zen's got some news. I think a lot of us smaller please want the X's we can imagine from a small market cap coin like the ones over DX and Titanx, but this can be a big mistake. I'm listening to what you're saying. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I want it. Listen, there's no doubt about it. I want it to be a major player, but I'm seeing how the growth of the way Steve is building for Vault has me thinking totally different. I see a developer that has seen what my eyes have captured and what I have seen and going, whoa, this needs a whole lot more to it or it's going to die off. So I see a panic builder who's on camera sharing the excitement and so, well, this innovation. And now we got Viper that's Volt on steroids. And it's like, all right, you're panic building. Why are you panic building? Because you need these pillars to help sustain Volt. The perpetual auction is no longer a thing that people are participating in, and it's diminishing. And I've been telling you guys that. But I still have faith that, hey, if he builds, if for some reason there is participation, I can still win. That's my bet. It's not a 100% bet at this point. I'm betting that there are people willing to give up their Dragonx to play that Viper pillar. We're going to see. It could be real big the first day, but how long does that sustain? I just can't imagine that the people that have been holding Dragonx for a long time and see what's about to happen are willing to give it up, to gamble it. I would have been willing to gamble my Dragonx 2 months ago. The timing is not right. Right? The timing is not right. Last week, you said Volt over Dragonx is the market cap and all. Yes, I did. But did I say all my Dragonx? No. I even tweeted that the money was going to go from there to there. And I've made my X's. So should anybody else that got in, it should be back in Dragonx and holding a moon bag, which I'm holding. But do you not see, Altheo, do you not see and understand that more pillars are coming out to help benefit Volts at the worst time? So I love Volt. Volt came out 2 months ago. Bam, we're ready to go. But Volt's coming out right before. Volt has its pillars coming out right after day 369 for Dragonx. Could you really piece that together in your mind to think, oh, whoa, Dragonx day 369 just happened? It's going hyper deflationary? Let's start spending my Dragonx. Could you really put that together and think that that's going to happen? There will be people that use it, and I hope it does, but I'm not going to be one of them. You see, my cause for it to do well is off of pure greed. I'm a human being. What do I mean by pure greed? I want people to go into that pillar and to give up their Dragonx so that I win with my vault and that I don't have to see the low participation and sell it. That's the greed. Will I come on here in camera after watching the events take place and see what's happening now, tell you to go into it? No. No, I'm not. Have I? No. What I will say is, I hope that people are saying, F Thomas G. I don't care what he says. He's the one who says, don't listen to influencers. You're damn right. Don't listen to me. And I hope you don't. Because the greedy side of me wants everybody to get their Dragonx and get rid of it. So that pillar is big enough to benefit my bag. Because this is a solo sport. But I'm telling you what's on my mind and how I see it. You don't have to agree with me. Matter of fact, I appreciate your feedback. Why panic building? He had the vision for Vault long time ago with pillars and wheel on top. Okay. Okay. This is okay. It's not something you can come up with in a day or a week. Then it should have came out 2 months ago. If it wanted to be on target and on time. Great. You don't think he's panic building? Okay. Look how many platforms Jake launched in a year. Titan, Hyper. Look how many projects Eric built in about a year's time almost. Dragonx, Hydra. And then we have the Titanx farms. And they got millions of dollars ahead of time. Millions of dollars months ahead of time before they both go hyperdeflationary. All right. So I agree. It probably took him time. He had a vision, but he probably didn't think about the timing. Watch it play out, man. Watch it play out. This is literally like, I don't know. It's hard to say. I would say before a Bitcoin halving, but you know what happens during there. Moral is Vault will do well, and all the projects that are coming out right now eventually can't go wrong. There you go. That I do believe. We just got to be ready for the tsunami about to go down. Yeah. Yep. Do Hydra will pump harder than Dragonx on day 369? No, I don't believe day 369 is going to be a big pump event. I think it might be actually the opposite, but the delayed reaction to what's going to happen is going to take place. So you got to imagine that, over the course of all of November, all of December, where inflation goes down to practically nothing in January, February, and March of 2025, that's where you're going to see the best numbers. And I think everybody wants it now, right? But, I'm not going to stretch the goalpost for myself with participating in everything. Are you speculation, including Orox lending protocol, or what are your speculations on that? I think Orox is a very special innovation. Okay. I talked about this yesterday. Lending, the collateral. This is something that could end up being, and really it needs to end up being, the backbone of Titanx. Orox protocol is very important to the Titanx ecosystem. Like moving forward from here, the success of Orox is massive. Where you look at everything else, like the build on Titanx protocols are good, right? They help burn tokens. But this is on a much greater scale than just burning Titanx. What this could do to have a stable token represented the Titanx ecosystem is probably beyond what most people are grasping right now. So I use that opportunity to understand it and go, oh shoot, okay, I get it. All right. So I'm taking Titanx and I'm staking daily. And understanding that's a 52-week period. Let's say me and 1,000 people mint ORX right now with Titanx. The biggest winner is going to be the person that waits to 52 weeks. Because after 28 days, you can claim at any time. There will be people that claim 28 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, 200 days. The 52-week person, it's like a game of proof of weak hands, gets the most tokens and gets the most benefit. And I believe that's going to be a good number that you can possibly make, bull market or bear market, at the end of that road, based off what the platform actually offers to the ecosystem. The low market caps of Hydra Hyper Tink may be very exciting for big gains in 2025. Absolutely agree. Do you think people will ape into Lotus? Let me take a look at the price of Titanx really quick and see. And yeah, I do. Just off the top of my head, I do think, especially with low prices, right? Especially with low prices. So I think people will. But the thing about it is Lotus is going to help Vault. And I don't know if the hype is because it's helping Vault. What you're going to see, though, is I speculate, is people are going to sell the hell out of Vault tomorrow to get into Lotus. Could be right, could be wrong. We'll see if I'm right tomorrow. I think there will be a massive sell-off in Vault for Lotus. Matter of fact, the person that I talked to last night said he sold a ton of Vault for Lotus. And I don't even know. He sold a lot, too. I have yet to check. If I look at the chart, I'll have to look. He sold so much for Lotus. I was like, bro, how the hell did you have that much Vault? Has he spoke about Helios getting some ETH from 369 yet? I hopped on. No, they're another one too. They're gonna get their 369 payout. But to be honest with you, this has been like the one, like the redheaded stepchild of the ecosystem that no one paid attention to. Nobody cared, right? Just me. Just me. I participated in this. I'll get a reward. What is this? For this wallet, 2.9 billion Titanx on day 420. Their day 369 payout. Where could I see that? The treasury? They're going to get a big payout. I believe it's, what's the amount? Is it 114 ETH? It's going to be coming soon. Yeah. Maybe. I forget where to look here. But yeah, people just ignored this platform for the longest time. So if you got in and you got in early, it doesn't have a lot of inflation versus all the other platforms. I'll tell you that right now. It's incredible. But hey, people just weren't excited about it, I guess. We need more new users in Vault, and then we'll see price explosion. Yeah, man, you hit it right on the dot. And you got any plans for the bear market with Titanx or just a general tips for the bear market? Yeah, the plan for the bear market for Titanx actually falls with Orox protocol. Minting Orox for the long term and participating in the collateral advantage with the stable token. So in a bear market, you sell your tokens and you go into a stable coin. Well, Orox is going to have a stable token that represents a stable token within the Titanx ecosystem, right? So you're going to have, let me pull it up here. I'll pull it up on camera so I can show everybody. And this is why Jake keeps talking about it. It's going to be freaking massive, dude. Like the opportunity is it's crazy. So let me pull it up here on camera, right? You taking a look at the test net for USDX minter. You see here the liquidator, redemptions, USDX staking, Orox staking, the system stats. This is all on testnet right now. You can go to their website, and people are playing with this testnet. I believe this is the biggest, most important protocol ever built in existence for the overall ecosystem. Okay? The balances, all it has every token. HLX, Vault, Inferno, Hyper, Hydra, BDX, that's Baby Dragonx, Dragonx, Titanx, ORX, Ethereum. You can see all the collateral matrices that people are playing around with right now. These are all important structures within the ecosystem that you have to learn and understand. I could do a full dedicated video on it, and I will. But the one thing I know that I want to participate in is I got caught up buying the hype, got wrecked on Orox. I made money, then I got wrecked when it went down. So I need to buy at some point, like buy tokens as close as it comes to when this goes live. This goes live right around the time Viper comes live, right? Buy ORX to stake to earn fees on USDX, right? You're going to earn fees. So when you stake ORX, right, when people are using the lending and all that stuff, the ORX fee sharing pool allows ORX stakers to earn a share of USDX, redemption, and loan fees. Who does loans? Whales, right? Whales use these platforms. So you'll be earning fees off of whale participations and people of all walks of life, bag sizes too, but whales especially. So you'll be able to deposit to earn here. I think it's very, very important to go and learn what's going to take place. How I see this, Pillars input token is not Titanx. You don't want to put Precious, Dragonx, and Viper. I get it. Buy it. It's a leverage play on Dragonx anyways. With capped supply, it's pumped Vault. Yes, the same as Vault. Yeah, but that's based off of participation. You don't get a crazy ratio when participation's not there. So you're going to need the participation to get that dream play. So you're going to, just like I'm hoping that people will participate. I don't know if they will, knowing that 369 just happened and Dragonx is now deflationary on a token that has 7x lower supply than Titanx. It's going to go parabolic. And you could lose a huge ratio increase from the 1 to 12 ratio of Dragonx to Titanx before it splits off to like a 1 to 25, 1 to 35, probably 1 to 50. So you got to bank on participation. We will see. Lotus is going to give you a sample of if money's going to sell Volt to get in, and if that money that gets sold to go into Lotus has buyer's remorse because they didn't get what they wanted out of it, will they participate in Viper? There's a lot on the line, a lot to gamble on. Okay, that's my understanding. Titanx possibly may not even see a bear market. All right, you would think, and I think this is going to be why ORX protocol. Also, pillars with wheel increase volume and ecosystem a lot. Hey man, good luck. Hopefully, Viper will do bet, but people will ape hard into it because they missed Vault. I'm pissed that I never went in harder, to be honest. Everyone's seen Vault perform amazing, thinking that Viper will print huge. Here's the thing. I've gone in early on a lot of things that were first-time movers. And what I've done is I've sold and allocated funds onto the thing that's trying to be just as big, and people are wanting to join it because they missed out on the first one. And nothing's ever like the first movie. Like they say, the first movie is always the best. Part 2, part 3 were kind of washed up. So it'll be interesting if people, you got to understand people are going to go hard because they feel like they missed out. But what if you don't want to miss out on Dragonx going parabolic? It could be the opposite effect. We'll have time. But I understand people's excitement for the pillars, but you got to understand one thing. The timing is off. There's no denying that. If this happened 2 months down the road, the participation would be off the charts. Volt did crazy numbers, but you're talking about going into something right after 369 starts to pay out and the chain of events turn and turn. And Eric's telling you already, like Eric in plain sight is making comments about Dragonx. Like, don't forget about Dragonx. Like, we're about to kickstart this. Because he knows people are selling the Dragonx from Vault. That's what happened. And the attention is elsewhere. Get caught up and bet against Eric and lose your attention on Dragonx. That SOB is going to make you pay for it. I'm one of them. I missed out because I was so pissed off about the staking. I could have got a 1-to-1. My head was turned because I was angry. Prime example of what's happened. So I want the participation, of course. I want the participation. Let's see. Steve, oh man, come on. I've not seen you. Steve, I've DM'd you and I've seen you read my messages on Twitter. I've seen you read them. All right. And right after, I've seen you post and get on with other people. I've seen this. This is like old news now, which I have nothing against you. Keep building, brother. I hope it works out. I'm a big vault holder. But my invitation to you to come on to my channel has been out there to talk with me. I've seen you read my messages. It shows you just like when someone reads your text on whatchamacallit, on an iPhone, I'm not here to hate on you. I'm here to spit some facts. That's the truth. The dude is cool, man. He will see his day, though. Yeah, I really like the dude. I really do like the dude. Like, I want the dude. I told him, I was like, dude, I can't wait for Element 280 because I know you got, like, the timing was off for Element for Helios because day one launched. And gas fees went crazy. And I was like, he's such a good guy, and his concept was perfect. That's why I went heavy into Helios. I bought like close to $45,000 and staked, right? Bit the bullet, understanding that, like, hey, there could be a big payout, 420. So, yeah, I mean, that to me is like, I was a big believer, and I've seen Element 280 come out, and I missed out on Element 280 because my excitement for Vault. Remember, Vault came out, and I was like, I'm like going balls deep in Vault. Like I can't put any of my attention, which paid off. I can't put any attention anywhere. We've talked about this live on camera, and I didn't participate in 280. Then I see these 280 payouts. I go, oh my god, you know. Steve, love your perspectives. Thank you. Are you more bullish on ORX? Like I don't know how these questions come up. It's hard to answer. Like people are like, "Are you bullish on this? Are you bullish on that?" Like I'm bullish on the Titanx ecosystem as a whole. I understand that bonding is going to help everything. Um, I'm bullish to consolidate at this point. Like my top 5 have told you. And I've said it already. What Titanx, Hyper, Hydra, Dragonx, Vault. And then I've had people ask me, what about ORX? Well, ORX is not something that I can hold liquid right now, like as far as where I want to be holding it liquid after a 52-week payout. ORX is what I won't stop participating in every day. That's for sure. So I'm bringing out new capital for ORX daily for that desire to hit it big later down the road. That's where I'm at with ORX. So, and then the overall protocol was built to benefit the entire ecosystem. So some things come out to benefit Dragonx, Titanx, like this. No, this is a stable token, a collateral atmosphere where people could come on here as far as a whale's dream protocol, come out here and position themselves like during the bear and before and after and during. This is what you want in an ecosystem. I'm excited. Let's see. I will never deny Eric again. Yeah, bro, I learned the hard way. I definitely did. You know, I'm first to say it like, oh man, like I got caught up in the moment. You know, if I had just I gotta be like Cher, if I could turn back time. You know what I would do if I could turn back time? You know, someone should have just hit me with the daddy chill.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
Someone should have daddy chilled me. Right? It's all right. It's all right. I'm positioned and ready to go. So out of all the ecosystem, everyone knows the end game is Titanx. Yeah, all roads lead to Titanx. I've DM'd you just now. Well, about damn time, bro. Shit. Hey man, like I said, I'm still holding your token, got nothing against you. But yeah. I've been voicing out things to you for a week now. Maybe you didn't know. Who knows? Let's see. Titanx after 1 year is really good. Chain necked? What is it? Chain nectarine? What is that there? I've been off camera too. Over here laughing, having a good time. It's Friday. How are you so bullish on Volt and saying Lotus does not do well? You do know the buy and burn is in Titanx, so day 369 Volt with benefit plus pillars already 25% burnt supply. Yeah, no, I understand. There's two things you got to understand here, right? Is a lot's been burned. I'm happy about it. That's like, what is the supply that's burned? 26%? A lot of vault has been burned. But the pillars are going to be based off participation. So we're going to have people willing to give up the Dragonx to get into it. That's it. All right. I'm just saying I'm not the person that wants to risk my Dragonx when I got enough vault. So my argument is not that the pillars will succeed or not succeed. I'm not going to bet my Dragonx on a what if or on a maybe, because we're too close to the end of the road here, where we're gonna go hyperdeflationary. Absolutely, got the ETH to do it. Got all the build on like Viper and everything to build. Awesome X is build on Dragonx, all that. I'm not going to participate now. If this was 2 months ago, I would have given up 50% of my bag, right? Because I'm not feeling, I wouldn't have been feeling that bullish like sentiment that's sinking in. Like 369 is about to happen. Eric's about to have $2 million plus in ETH to burn Dragonx, right? If you're excited about Titanx going hyper deflationary, where it's at 44 trillion tokens, right? How do you expect me to feel about a token with 5.2 trillion supply that gets you 12 Titanx per one Dragonx and was 1 to 20 not too long ago? Okay? Not too long ago. I don't, that's why if this happened 60 days ago, right, I would have been more excited. And I think that's why I was all right spending the Titanx for Vault, because of the timing was, hey, we're still a little bit of ways till December when it happens. This is December for Dragonx coming up here in just a week's time. The start of it, right? The events that will take place. So that's why I'm like, if I don't feel like participating, there might be a lot of people that don't too. And I would understand why. And timing's everything. You got to time things right, right? You can't just land a kickflip because you don't have good timing. You got to have good timing, or else you don't stick it. So that's how I look at it. Chain next typo. Have you looked into Ulti? No, I'm not sure what that is. Titanx chain next typo. 40% of Vault users are outside of Titanx. New users will come in further. Awesome. 40% of Vault users are outside of Titanx. How do you know that number? 40% are outside of Titanx? Huh. It wouldn't make sense, because in order to get Vault, you have to buy Titanx to swap for Vault. So how did you get that number? Where do you see those stats? Is it a Fugazi, whatever they call it? I don't know where he got those numbers, but I guess one could assume, right? One could assume. What's next? But yeah, the burning is happening. 5.2 trillion. All right, look at you. We're all excited about Titanx going hyperdeflationary. It's got 44.9 trillion tokens to go through. 49.9 trillion. And we're excited. I'm excited. Dragonx, 5.2 trillion. And it's about to start to kickstart, right? And it already has to burn Hydra to buy Titanx, which buys Dragonx, which then buy and burns Hydra. All this money in the bank, bro. All this money in the bank. All that money in the bank. And it's about to have another deposit in the bank here. That's going to go here. That's going to jump here. And Eric is going to be able to utilize the Ethereum at whatever intervals callable by the users to go in whenever he designs it, however he decides to make it happen. All right? Would you sell Tink for Vault? Not financial advice. I don't know. I guess you can buy Vault with ETH, so maybe, yeah, outside Titanx. Jake said that about the 40%. That's the thing. Jake said that we have all these new users in Titanx. If you follow the blockchain, go follow it. I even said I make 10 wallets when I get into a new platform. Why do I have 10 wallets in Ouroboros? I've explained it. All right. Different amounts, different strategies, you name it. Okay. these new wallets that keep being made, you go follow the people that are recycling in the auctions and vaults. Go look how many wallets they have, sending ETH and all this, right? It's really impossible to account who is making duplicate wallets and who's actually a new user. It's easy to make a fresh new wallet. Those numbers are very hard. So where you find out that the economic energy is shrunk is what we just saw happen. What did we just see happen? We know we don't have enough new users. We need new users. We need them. We saw Dragonx sell for Vault. Prime example one. If those users had enough economic energy to not do that and had extra capital to go there, we wouldn't see it. And on top of that, new users, we wouldn't have seen that big drop. Orox launches, sell off on Volt. We saw that. Then they came back. Oh, Orox is down again. Wasn't meant to be bought. Came back into the system almost immediately within a couple days. We've seen this on every launch. So we are in a position to, when the founder speaks and says a number, I'm not the person who's going to go, oh my God, you're absolutely right. I'm stupid. No, I know how to look at blockchain. I know how to think reasonably. Love Jake, apologize to him. Everything's all good. Boom. Doesn't mean I'm going to take that 40% number and be like, oh yeah, duh. No, bro. No, it doesn't reflect that. It doesn't reflect that we have enough users coming in at this point. And if the users that we have now have enough dry powder to get into other stuff without affecting the price of one thing. So when Lotus comes out tomorrow, two things are going to happen. Thomas G is wrong or Thomas G is right. And if I'm right, you're going to see Volt sell off. We talked about this at the beginning of the stream. Heads are going to turn right, and my head's going to turn left. So will people sell their Volt to get into Lotus? I'm going to buy cheap Volt on the dip because I already decided I'm not going to participate in Lotus. I'm not going to give up my Titanx at this point unless it's coming from outside. Let's say I make a trade tonight and I make $10,000, which can happen, happens all the time. I'll bring in that fresh capital and I'll play with Lotus. But if I don't make any extra money, I'm not going to use my Titanx that I have that's going to hyperdeflationary for Lotus. I'm not. Because then I'm trading a token going hyperdeflationary for a token that's in the early phase of hyperinflationary. Does that make sense? Only if I got the extra capital. And a lot of people in the system don't. We need new users. What is keeping new users from joining? And I get these messages all the time because what did just take place with me? I called Nero CTO out of below $1 million in my VIP group. On camera, I called it at $2.9 million. So all these people are reaching out to me on X. What's the next big one? What's the next big one? You know, I have all these people that tell me they changed their lives. You know what they are asking me about Volt? Why can't I buy with ETH? It's a meme token. I'm like, it's not a meme token. You got to buy Titanx, and then you got to buy Volt. They want to know, why do I need to buy Titanx? Well, that's a Titanx that represents the ecosystem. Everything is bonded to it. And then they want to research that, and they get confused, and they go away. Some will make it, but the filtering of new users coming in is confusing. So I have an audience of people that have won big in meme tokens. I have an audience of people that won big with Oscar. I talked about Oscar, $400,000 market cap. It went up to like $16, $18 million. It's back down on a correction. Great. I have a hard time telling these people what to do. Like, they just don't get it. They're not from a world where their meme tokens are bonded with an ecosystem token like Titanx. They don't understand the innovation. So bringing on a new user can be very exhausting. I have exhausted myself in DMs explaining this over and over. I'm like, just come into R2R VIP group. We'll talk about it. Ask questions there. There's people that will tell you. That is where we're at. And it's the same thing that cryptocurrency has had trouble with for over a decade now, is explaining people, okay, I buy Bitcoin. Okay, Now I hear about Ethereum. Okay, I buy Ethereum on my Coinbase, but then they're like, how do I play this DeFi? What's MetaMask? What's Rabby Wallet? What is a ledger? Why do I need a ledger? Oh, you just lost one ETH because your computer was compromised. So that's why. And here's how you do it safely. And the onboarding process is really difficult in crypto. So it stems all the way down to where we're having difficulties on Titanx. What I do see in Titanx is mass wallets being made. I have seen that. And there are new users, right? But we could have hundreds per day if it wasn't so complex. And by design, it is complex. And that's why we're in a small environment where we'll make a lot of money. And the same thing happened with Hex too. I think what kept a lot of new users into Hex was literally Richard Hart himself. People didn't like his attitude or how he was. At least you have Jake that's more welcoming and streams and a lot more like a likable person versus like Richard Hart, where people are like, this guy's arrogant and he thinks he's smarter than everybody, which I love RH, right? Are you timing things with Titanx so you can go and put it back into the RH ecosystem? I guess. Yeah, I've been extracting value to go into Pulse Chain. I pointed out wallets were doing that too the other day. I extract value to get more hex. That's where it stops. And PDAI. So all my wallets, well, one wallet's collecting PDAI, one wallet's collecting hex. I'm not buying Pulse X or Pulse anymore. I've had enough of it. I'm just gonna chill. All the potential new users have their plays, but the green candles will bring them in. Yeah, that's the thing. Usually when you see a green candle, you want to go buy. So with our green candles happen, there's still a learning curve, a process where people are going to understand. I see a green candle, like they see Volt go to $1. Oh, I don't have to buy it with Titanx. Oh, now they're talking about Dragonx. Dragonx is the hot one. Now I'm going to buy Titanx, just puts Titanx in the spotlight. But Dragonx got the spotlight from big influencers, Ivan and Tech and all that stuff, right? They're going to be confused and their audience is going to be very confused. I think they consolidate what they pitch their audience as far as big influencers when they start to talk about it. I think the end of the road for them is going to be Titanx and Dragonx. Everything else is going to be very, very complex. You're talking about a massive ecosystem here. Massive ecosystem that's continuously being built on. So the education has to be there to incubate a new user that's going to participate at a high level and function enough to be able to walk away from this ecosystem, being able to teach somebody else, tell a friend or family, like, you got to get in and explain it. So it's very interesting to see. You just said you won't buy Vault. You said you will buy if it dips. Which is it, bro? I'm confused. I just said if it dips, I will buy. Oh, you're talking about if Lotus. Yeah. I mean, why not? For a flip? Yeah. So which is it? It's everything. Will I buy it for the long term? No. When your head goes that way, I'm going for a swing trade. I'm telling you that right now. I'll be the first person on camera to tell you right now. When you look and go buy Lotus or go buy Lotus miners, but you sell your vault to do that, I'll put 10 G's out there, buy the vault dip, goes up 10, 20%. I'm selling that bad boy. I got kids to feed. That's what it is, bro. I'm being honest with you. That's what it is. I got diapers. I got baby wipes. All right. So I'm going to take advantage of what people do on emotions. And I just squeeze right in there and say, I got some, hey man, my kids like Coco Melon. They like Deadpool. They want these toys for Christmas. Well, when your head turns that way, I got to sneak in some gift money right there. That's where I'm at. So am I going to buy it to add to my stack for the long run? No. I'm going to swing trade that ass. So if that answers your question, right? Because I know you asked it like, oh, well, he said this and that. That's how you came off. Well, I'm being straight up with you. You're not going to get anybody else on camera that's going to tell you like that. I could guarantee you. Why? Because I don't care, man. I bought enough to hold it. I don't need to buy it more to hold it long term. Right? I got enough for the long term. But when I buy it, when you turn that way, thank you. My son can get what does he want? A new parakeet? He wants this expensive cage and a parakeet to go with the new parakeet. No, if I say it's a parakeet, he'll get all mad. It's something like this bird that if you whistle, like he learns that whistle in a day. This bird is so smart, and they're expensive, and he needs a pal. So hopefully I could squeeze in there on, if it happens, we'll know tomorrow. Like Trump with his hands. My wife's like, you're just like Trump. Like, damn right I am. But with my hands and my talking, right? Squeeze in $10,000-$15,000 on the dip. All it needs to do on a $15,000 investment, if you guys dip it strong enough, like I caught the dip last night on a wallet, sold it this morning. All I need is a 15 plus increase on a $15,000 investment, right? It's roughly like $2,100. Merry Christmas, guys. Dad brought home some bacon. Because we need a whole, 2 packs of bacon goes, 2 packs of bacon we go through on a Sunday when my wife makes a big breakfast where everyone will actually eat the same meal. 2 packs of bacon. And there ain't enough left for me. There ain't enough left for me. Right? Love your honesty and transparency. I think one of the only ones in this space. I appreciate that, man. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. And I don't see the reason to. Respect for the truth bombs. Yeah. You gotta know, man. Like, because people be watching my wallet, like, Eric was one of them too. He just sold Post Chain at the top. He got wrecked on this. And I'm like, yeah, man, I make money and I lost a lot of money. You pointed out when I made a lot, you pointed out when I lose a lot, but I got a lot of wallets, bro. But one thing I'm not going to say is that it didn't happen. Shit, man. If I can go through some of the mistakes, I don't want to. I will lose sleep. Okay, right? I've made a lot of money in crypto, but the times where I've lost, like by selling early, being a trader, it disgusts me. Yes, sir. He'll wait till ETH doubles. Hydra will be a beast. Yeah, I think Eric is going to be very smart and strategic with it. That's why I'm glad. Hey, man, I'm glad it's in his hands because he's shown that he sticks to his guns, right? A lot of people are like, this fool didn't build anything, didn't even update the UI in a year, right? And they're comparing it because they're seeing builders that come like Steve and Inferno that are building project after project, and they're just like weighing in heavy on Eric. Like, hey, no, actually, Dragonx, the best performing asset in the ecosystem. Hydra came out last I checked, right? Last I checked, number 1 on the leaderboard under Dragonx. 2 of the best performing above Hyper projects. Only needed 2. Only needed 2. Didn't need 11 pillars, nothing. He's dominating the leaderboard. He built several months between his first and last project. And, don't bet against Eric. Hashtag don't bet against Eric, right? Has Titanx farms with 32 million plus liquidity being managed. So you want to sell Eric's token right now for something else? What do you think about Morpheus? Morpheus. Is that the one that Vibra is involved with? Is it Vibra Finance? Right? Vibra Finance. I don't want to butcher the name. And it has the raffle. Is that the one, right? I get confused between Matrix and Morpheus. Morpheus is the one that has to do with Vibra, right? And it's got the raffle. I was actually looking at that last night. I was going to make a dedicated video about it today if we're talking about the same one, which I believe. Let me pull it up real quick. Let me pull it up. Oh, this one right here. Yes, we're talking about the same one. This right here. I was going to do a dedicated video on this, right? Because of the raffle aspect, I kind of have an idea in my brain of what it might be. There's nothing on the white paper yet, but that's right up my alley, man. I'm going to try to get into this raffle. So, for this particular project, right? Just like Lotus too, I said with Lotus, if I have a good meme coin day or night, a good trade, a good swing, I'm bringing it back to this puppy. And that's in that case I would play Lotus too. But then again, I don't know if I could play Lotus because I think I would just get the Titanx. And if I was going to make a miner, I would make a Hydra miner. So we'll see. Oh, rags to riches, the R2R. I remember someone was like, you copied R2R. He's the original. I was like, nah, bro. He's not the original. I had R2R before anybody even knew who he was. I had a rap song, and he was like, oh, that's cool. Like, we were, I was like, no, but he's rags to riches. I'm rags to riches. We both have the name R2R Network and all that. And, like, I had gone away for a while, too, on YouTube. Like I said, I had 30,000 subscribers, got rid of it. Had the 6 baby. It was like, I'm done. I don't have time for this. And I just came back. But yeah, he's behind it. That's exciting. That's exciting. Him and Vibra. So I want to play the raffle. So like I said, any extra capital I make, I'm gonna park it, see what they got going on. I read the docs on Monday. Right? We will go over this on Monday. What is it? What am I doing here? What am I doing here? On Monday, we're going to cover this, right? Morpheus and all this good stuff. That's Monday's plan. Monday's live stream. You'll get 1 raffle ticket per 100 million Titanx. Woohoo! Hey, man, I'm a gambler, bro. Like, you put the word raffle out there, it just tickles me like Elmo. It does. So, like, I get all, let's go. That's the doughboy laugh. That's the doughboy laugh. That's how I laugh, though. They used to call me doughboy at my job because some fool tickled me in the elevator. I was like, they're like, doughboy. I was like, this muff, but cool. Appreciate all your info. Yeah, we'll do it on Monday. So it's been about almost 2 hours. Damn. I gotta go pick up the kids soon. I hate Fridays, short days. Smash the like button. Join me on Morpheus on Monday. Till next time, we shall do it again. Yeah, dog.
Maybe the faucet, just get it. Yeah.
It's R2R. It's R2R. Back to riches. Back to riches. It's R2R. It's R2R. Back to riches. Back to riches. It's R2R. It's R2R. Back to riches. Back to riches. It's R2R. It's R2R. Back to riches. Back to riches. Got my call from the R2R. Farmers going up, Brody, check the chart. In the loot, buying all these plots. Thomas G and Mike got the chat on lock. When a drip and pulls, got these dogs and pigeons from me, I'm ready to score. Got me a bag of the rich and hard, I think I need more. Group got me in the wave, now I'm swimming the shore. I'm up to the core. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, it's back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, it's back to riches.